All right. The phone rings a bit. It takes a few tries, and then you hear a raspy voice that none of you recognize. The way will be open. Guests. The phone clicks. Dead.
Short and
Oh.
sweet. Shall we go?
Before we go, time, please?
Current
Okay.
time is 1:03 a.m.
Okay. So we're not going to burn in sunlight, at least.
Worst case, you'll just be under Central Park, so you won't burn at all.
We'll just have a sleepover with the cephalod.
Yes, that's going to end very well.
Dude, we'll tell stories. You know, we'll make popcorn. We'll watch movies.
Pillow
It'll be great.
fights. All about
His
the pillow
pillows are
fights.
full of acid.
Well, he's going to win the pillow fights.
Damn.
But anyways, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the bathroom, but go on without me. Marcus is just going to be quiet and brooding for a while.
Okay. In that case, you will have you've made your agreement here. We'll actually go ahead and wait for Jordan to return. It's kind of important that he hangs along.
Okay, then I'm going to go run to something.
Okay. I won't go away though. So go ahead and look at the chat. Bye, Cobrag. You guys didn't even get to Cobrag. I bragged about my maps yesterday. Told you your dick would grow at least 4 inches, and we haven't actually seen any maps, huh? Perhaps next week.
Yeah, I'm AFK as well.
Okay. So, Chad, any more questions or comments that you have for me, or perhaps Aaron there, who's saying, Aaron, you've done a great fucking job helping paint the coterie into a corner.
Isn't it fantastic?
That is a pretty good bad joke, Basehole. Are you for fuck's sake? It's like, there could have been a great, spiel here at the beginning of this session about, what do we do with Leslie Cutter? Bam! She's just giving them some meatsy. Was the sheriff bluffing when he was trying to catch him lying? Maybe. Maybe not. He is pretty good. He's seen many neonates in his day. He is the sheriff of New York City. You don't get appointed to that post. At least not of the newly acquired New York City, unless you know what you're doing.
Here's something that I was almost going to suggest to the group, but didn't quite get the conversational chance to. I was going to suggest trying to put Byron up into a position of power in the city. Take out the sheriff, put him in a position of power.
How much prep have I done for each session? I've definitely spent several hours on each chapter. I spent the most time on this chapter, as I did for, well, not the most, but except for chapter 1, the pre-work for this chapter was the most I've ever done. I actually spent quite a bit of time, both yesterday evening as well as today. In the morning, I was jotting down notes. I was thinking about character plans. I was actually creating maps. I have several maps that the party may end up arriving at, perhaps not in today, but in future sessions as well. The great thing about doing the prep work is that you'll always have it available to you, should it ever come up.
I have something to say to Aaron. I caught the tail end of what he was saying. You actually wanted to ask or get Byron in a position of power. Did I hear correctly?
This is a city of neonates. If we angled it right, we could actually take out the sheriff and, using the vacuum and the momentum, launch someone in the coterie up into not necessarily the princedom, but a position of power. Enough to make them functionally immune to retaliation.
If he
that is
kills a
something you
sheriff,
probably should bring up with Byron, especially since he's given you kind of an ultimatum of you're with us or against us after we meet the Cephalod. So.
Angry Ice Cream, a map for the mansion is actually something I did not do. As I noted before in the chat earlier, I am actually the events of this session actually pitched a curveball at me. And it's been a long time. Of course, I expected to be on my toes for this new rule set I'm trying to learn, but I was genuinely surprised. And that's what I enjoy so much about not having a railroad for the characters at all. I give them a sandbox, and I just throw a bunch of tools into it, and they can make their own tools. And it actually allows the players to take me along for a ride. You'll encounter many DMs who will put the characters or try to put them on a railroad or say, we have a schedule to keep up with. You know, this is going to happen. We have to encounter this. And because last week's session is cut short, we have to do 8 hours for this session to make sure we cram in everything so that we're on schedule. No. The players are the ones who are writing this fucking story. They decide what the hell they want to do. I create the scaffolding for them doing it, and they fill in the rest. If they want to go meet Sevalod, we're going to meet Sevalod. If they want to try to kill Sevalod, we're going to go try to kill Sevalod. If they want to not do any of that, if they want to follow up on the potential lead that Theo Bell gave them about where that Jersey area code is, they can go do that. This is New York City metropolitan area. 20 million people live here. This place is huge, with over 200 vampires living in it, not to mention any other unrecognized ones, such as Mitzi Autarchus living in a mansion under Central Park. They can do whatever they want.
Speaking of the curveball, was that both Byron and Marcus going to see the sheriff right out of the box, or was it something different?
I thought that you guys might have... I just didn't, that's... That's what the situation was of the players hanging themselves.
Oh, did you see what I was typing in the chat that whole time?
I took a look every now and then. I was kind of busy with Kadir last night, so I couldn't watch everything. But both you and Sean, of course.
Yeah, what I was hoping for, and by extension what Byron was hoping for, is that he would go to the sheriff and serve everything up on a platter and basically get the go-ahead to bring Jermaine to the sheriff and have the sheriff just beat the shit out of him and use that way to, I was definitely throwing Jermaine under the bus. That was my plan going into this session. But it didn't quite work out that way.
Don't forget Joseph thrown under the bus again.
That was not me. Byron was not going to bring you into it, actually. So he was going to...
You mentioned your political leanings.
Which he's still not supposed to really know too much about in character.
They have a little bit of inklings given on what you've described to them in character. You know, basically any vampire in the face of the sheriff is looking to save his own skin somehow, so they're willing to implicate anyone.
Yeah, I'm not holding it against him. I'm just saying that you still have not been told he is actually wants to be an anarch.
I'm going to tell you right now. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to tell you right now, Krypsyn, the fast talking that you did there, like a sort of blathering thing, I gave that an automatic success. You confused the fuck out of the sheriff at the end. He was just like a complete stupor.
What exactly confused him there? Just the fact that I was questioning him? Was that it?
The entire concept of the sheer idiocy that Byron was exhibiting, combined with what it seemed like a complete sense of a lack of self-preservation. The sheriff didn't know how to respond.
Well, Byron, to be frank, Byron was legitimately confused because, like he said, the only lie they told, and Byron didn't think it was a lie necessarily, just a fudging over, shall we say.
There were two instances at which I had you guys roll manipulation plus subterfuge. Whether it ends up being whether he saw through that or not, if he saw through at least one of them, then even if you guys are like, we told the truth all the other times, it's not like he's going to believe that.
Yeah, I was expecting Byron to have to make a roll when he was like, yep, everything he said is true. I was just hoping for that, but oh well.
Well, Marcus was the one who made the roll there, and he's going to go off that, since the sheriff would naturally trust Marcus more.
And Byron has more dice, has that eloquent voice thing. I never can remember the name of it.
And yet the time that Marcus actually takes the lead in the conversation, Byron could have tried to use all the dice against the sheriff.
You could have tried to help me out here, man. You just let me tie myself down. You just let me tie myself up and hang myself.
You're the
What
one
time
who
is
could have
it?
made the willpower roll at difficulty 9, so you could start blathering and choking on your...
What's
Well,
funny
I mean,
is
I was-
Joseph's probably the most likely one to have told the truth there. He
Yeah.
would have told him straight up they wanted her to come peacefully, that they let her sit out there because fuck, none of them are going to be able to kill her.
It's true.
And then-
I technically didn't intend to. It really doesn't matter anymore. I technically didn't intend to have Marcus lie, but I'm like, well, I guess I did lie. Let's just have Marcus lie here. Why
I
not?
say, if you wanted to renege on that, I would not have had a problem with that. I just wanted to remind you that what you did say was wrong.
Yes, but I'm like, I lied. I didn't remember. Oh well, let's just go with it. It makes for a better story.
Okay.
And on the record, I did offer to make a roll, and Grimith said, "Nope, you can't make a roll."
So I was like, yeah, I know you'd want to roll, and if you had taken the lead on that instead, you would have been the one making the rolls. But Marcus was the one who was taking the lead, and he had said most of the things involved, and so he was the one. And like I mentioned, I mean, he's more trusted than Byron is. It's not the unconvinced thing. It's just the fact that Marcus also fought in the Battle of New York as well, and that gives him a sense of respect attached to his name.
Oh, just something, OC. Joseph would have actually wanted to get her to the sheriff. He would not have been trying to get her to the Anarchs. Boss Callahan didn't seem to give a fuck, and it would get him points with the sheriff. So he legitimately would have if he was given a chance.
Looking
Not
at chat,
for the reason-
I think the joke has been made that all of the player characters are Sabbat spies who don't know that the others are Sabbat spies.
You guys didn't know I was a Sabbat spy the entire time?
Yeah, no, we're all Sabbat.
Oh, cool. So we're all going to kill each other, right?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm actually a vampire in the service of MI6. You just don't know it yet.
All right, I just want a quick reference here before we go back. Are the tokens on the church map the ones that are currently updated to reflect where your characters currently are?
Yes, Byron is sitting in that pew right there.
Like, I mean, in terms of like their statistics right now.
Yeah,
Marcus's statistics are 100% correct.
No, my willpower is down 1 more point.
Okay.
Also, just something to note. I know it turned over the month. I don't know when you're going to have Jermaine drop in a point of blood.
It's actually it'll be coming up eventually. Just not right now. Like, for example, eventually Evelyn's going to have to be getting her point of blood as well. Although she has a blood pool of 2, so she could go down if need to be.
The thing that ghouls with actual long-term patrons really have over independent ones is a steady supply of blood.
Indeed. At any
Yeah,
rate,
not just wondering because I didn't know if.
no, it's definitely a fair point to ask. It will be happening. Just the same as, I don't know exactly what day of the month you end up feeding Craig and Rayan, but they'll be requiring that too. All at least the ghouls that you guys have a blood pool of 2. So, if they miss a feeding for a month, it'll be a little bit okay. You just can't let their blood pool go down to 0.
Yeah, I think the last time I fed Evelyn was when she got the snot beat out of her by the Sabbat in like the second or third session.
It was
And
the
so
second session.
Yeah, so that's been what, 3 weeks or almost a month? I can't remember. We'll just round up. He'll do it at the end of the session if he can, I guess.
It's fine.
Wait, by the Sabbat? I thought she got the crap beat out of her by...
She got beaten up by the Fratellis,
Oh,
yes.
Valentine's thugs, you're right.
Valentine's?
Yes,
Valentine's
Valentine's
thugs,
Thugs.
whatever. I mean, yeah, I'm horrible with names. I apologize.
Valentine was somehow related to the Fratellis, therefore, whatever.
I love how Byron has turned on Valentine over there.
So do
All
I,
right,
actually.
guys. So, you guys are gonna go ahead and pack up in character. Yeah, go ahead and leave the church.
Yeah, I guess so. There's no time like the present. We need to strike while the anvil's hot.
Beep beep.
Because that's just what vampires love, is hot animals.
Yes, and striking them.
Strike the earth.
Okay. Jermaine goes ahead and drives you all in his car, which has been recently released from the city impound. There's still a bit of markings on the windshield he's going to have to deal with. Apparently running through the car wash once wasn't good enough.
I've got time. But today, after the sun rises.
Right. But you guys eventually do end up making, it's about 1:34 whenever you guys arrive at Central Park.
Like approximately.
Approximately 1:34:15, give or take 6 hours.
Ish.
All right, you guys have arrived. It's still busy out because it's early Sunday morning. People are still partying quite a bit. Drinks are still, bars are still open. Not last call yet. Lots of activity out and about. Central Park, though, looks just as dark and foreboding as it usually does. Are you sure no lupines live in this place?
No.
I hope not.
I hope so. It'll get us out of this trying to do this.
I am entirely unsure.
I think that's what this adventure needs right now, is a werewolf attack.
You're right.
You guys haven't taken the right steps to unlock the werewolf feature just yet.
Is it DLC?
It was release day DLC.
How
So
much
what,
money
you
is
got it automatically if you pre-ordered?
Yup. But it's locked
Alright,
onto the
I'm fully
compact
okay with
disc.
that.
It's locked onto the compact disc that you bought.
So the data's already on there, but I
Data's already there, but you have to pay to unlock it.
So how
I
much money
will
is the
flip
chat?
this table over. I will turn this car around.
So
How
what's
much money-
the rule to know how to get a crack?
So how much money is the chat gonna have to pay you, Grimith?
I'm sorry, Sean, but only mages can crack or mod reality.
They're controlling fashion trends right now.
God damn it, I want a DLC! That's going to
Well,
kill
then
us!
get in contact with a mage script kitty or something.
Oh, god damn it. That's great. Anyway, yeah.
So we're in Central Park.
Right. So, who's bringing what? What are you all going to do? Jermaine, of course, you are a bit bereft of equipment, and anyone who left their vehicles in the back of Jermaine's car has, as well as their other equipment, have noticed it's kind of missing too.
Did
So
someone leave their suit bike in the back of my car or something?
Or my other car?
I left my shotgun in the trunk.
I think
And
what did I do with my shotgun after last session?
I assume you well, Jermaine's car was gone. You went back on the metro. You were kind of hungry. Maybe you just left it at the crime scene and was taken by the police.
It's gone.
yeah, assuming
Okay,
you
so-
didn't take it with you on the metro, that's probably the what happened.
But if you took it with you on the metro, we need to have a talk and perhaps redact some of the things that transpired, Jordan.
Well, if you'd redact that, can I redact something I said with the sheriff?
You may not make to that scene.
You may not make it to that scene, yes. But at any rate, yeah.
I don't. I'm just gonna accept that I've lost the shotgun.
Any
Yeah, must
weapon that was not registered to Jermaine or other forms of perhaps, law enforcement equipment that was in there or other sorts of naughty things, it's gone.
What about my
thought that-
stick?
I thought that Joseph, hid his AK-47 somewhere, if it hasn't been
Right,
found.
Jermaine's car wasn't there, so you still do have your AK-47. It's just
my
back at the
AK is
church.
actually hidden somewhere in Flushing. I keep my equipment list on my character sheet
Right.
updated all the time.
Yeah, I just want to note that, like, if you guys were relying on Jermaine's car to bring stuff for you, I'll remind you now that you're at Central Park. The equipment's not really there.
So the vests, at least.
Yeah.
I've got my vest.
My vest was killed by shotgun dude.
It was. It was a pretty serious blow. Blew apart the bulletproof vest.
So yeah, all I have now is a knife, which I don't think Vicephalad's going to be truly scared about.
So do I get to get my steak? Did they put the steak back?
They would have seen no purpose to it. Just like, oh yeah, a random piece of wood. What the fuck ever.
Camping gear.
Oh, it got thrown out.
You want to know how to get a steak? Here, take a knife, go cut off a branch and sharpen this, turn it into a point.
Yeah, whatever.
He does have one strength. It might be hard for him to get a branch.
Okay, how about I do it for you?
Yeah, whatever. I was never gonna take that steak out. That steak was just for show.
All right. So here you guys are, the four of you, at the entrance, one of the many, to Central Park.
Oh, and by the way, Byron has the usual flashlight, gun, knife, all that stuff.
You might need a flashlight to help you navigate. It's a good thing.
I'm pretty sure Marcus is going to say keep the gun, visible at all times, because last thing we want to do is you to go rooting around and suddenly for the gun to fall out. Precautions. We don't want him to attack us the moment he sees us.
I'll lead them on in.
But Byron is just gonna give him kind of a queer look. Like, you think he's afraid of a pistol?
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing. If he attacks us for a pistol, he's gonna attack us for just being in Central Park.
Right. Besides, if he does shoot him, we get nice acid splatter. That'll be fun. Or is that a different type of
Marcus
attack?
is just going to be shrug. I'm just being like, better safe than sorry sometimes.
Are we already at the door? If not, I mean, Byron will he can take the gun out and put it in the car. I mean, just leave it there because he's not going to use it. It's futile. So
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and leave it. Sure, not a problem.
Yeah,
Is that a
he'll bring the
legally
knife,
registered
but-
firearm?
Say again?
Is that a legally registered firearm? I'm not asking for any actual reason. I'm just wondering.
I'm actually thinking about it. I thought about that earlier when you were taken into custody, and I'm gonna go with no. He probably just let's just say he got it from Match even before the game started. So yeah, it's an illegal 9mm.
Okay.
Joseph's was registered, but it's barrel change and everything, so.
So are we quite ready to continue then?
I would hope so.
Okay, sure. You guys eventually end up arriving at the shack. This little dingy shack that might be some sort of maintenance thing, deeply ensconced within Central Park, where it seems as if the light pollution doesn't really help in reaching either. Other than the flashlight Byron has, it is quite dark here.
Well, this is spooky.
Remember who we're talking about here. I don't know anything about him that isn't spooky.
I am really never comfortable here. At all.
Someone going to ring the door?
Well, Byron's just going to reach for the door and open it because they said the way is open.
Door's locked.
Clever bastard.
I pull out a little silver key and unlock it.
Now, where did you get that?
Where do you think you
Remember,
got that?
He asked me to do future jobs for him. He gave it to me then.
opens. There is your friend, the Zlatcha, in all of its shambling glory, is kind of awkwardly standing just a few feet beyond the portal.
It's good to see you again, I suppose.
Byron will suppress a shudder and walk through the doorway.
Joseph staring at Marcus. After you.
Please go before me, Joseph. I need a few more moments to get the smell of good air in my mind, so when I get down there, it's not overwhelming me.
I just head in.
Okay.
Marcus is going to look at Marcus before he goes in. He's going to take one look around outside, and then he's just going to walk back in.
All right. As soon as you all enter the portal, the Zlatcha closes and locks the door behind you. And he begins leading that slow, shambling process down the stairwell. Down, down, down the stairwell, with the only light being Byron's flashlight to accompany you. Eventually, you all get to that small room. Well, there's another flashlight on a shelf, and there's an elevator, which the Zlatcha shuffles up to, presses its malformed hand up against. It does a scan. Quickly, surprisingly so, with a superhuman agility, punches in a series of numbers. Elevator dinks. Opens. Zlatcha steps inside.
Marcus will follow.
As will
I'll step
Byron.
in.
Okay. As soon as all of you enter the elevator door closes, and it begins its slow, laborious descent down deep into the earth, where the smell of freshly turned earth and the smell of the grave await anyone so foolish enough as to draw a breath. Like Jermaine. The redolent cries of terror, and, that edge of fear that has lived here for centuries. Some of it perhaps radiating from the Zlatcha itself. But the door eventually opens, and it reveals the same sight you all ended up seeing yesterday. Funny enough, because practically no fucking time passes in this game. It is that underground domain with all the freshly turned earth, and extends so far into the darkness you could not even hope to see. You don't exactly know how deep you are. None of you are dwarves, so you cannot intuit depth. And then there are those various sorts of hot spots you could visit, a garden, some sort of other aviary place. Of course, there is that cliche haunted mansion with lights gleaming from its interior out onto a cobblestone path.
Byron will say, is it just me, or does it seem more foreboding than even yesterday?
I don't put it past Mr. Sarveni to renovate this place on an hourly basis.
I follow along.
Marcus is going to follow near the back of the party.
Okay. Xylancha, with its very slow steps, clearly the creature is in pain, but its face is perpetually contorted so it looks always in pain. And as none of you are quite so familiar with how flesh crafting works, your minds can only begin to stretch at what the creature might be feeling right now. Regardless, it is sentient. But eventually, it does lead you to the mansion. And it pushes open that ornate door, revealing the grandiose foyer that you all saw not so long ago. Immediately after doing this, Xylancha actually goes off into a pathway, sort of shambling a bit, moaning unintelligibly as it goes away, leaving the four of you alone. This ornately decorated place with the gleaming lights of the gems above your head refracting the light in all sorts of curious manners, particularly on the marble statues. It looks most curious. So much so that, Marcus, could you make a self-control roll at difficulty 6 for me?
I forgot this happened last time.
Oh yeah, 2 successes, you're good. Again, like last time, you are on edge, but it does look immaculately beautiful.
If this place wasn't so filled with dread, hate, and the screams of the damned, I would actually find this place quite beautiful.
Too bad about that.
Actually,
I mean, come on. Would you guys not like to live in a place like this? I mean, if it was, we weren't vampires. This was on the surface. No. Besides you, Jermaine, you don't count. Come on, guys.
There's go ahead.
Byron will shrug.
Come on, look at it. It's really nice. But not about that right now.
Go ahead and arrange yourselves in party order, however you'd like to be, whether you're all standing together horizontally or in a vertical type order or whatever it is you like to do. Okay.
I think you're in the front there, Jermaine. Well, we could do this.
That's just
and of course, the front is facing up north here, and the line there will pretty much be where Jermaine's standing. Don't go past him. Unless you want to. It's okay.
Joseph is hiding behind Byron.
let the patsy put his foot in his mouth. It's okay.
Well, I'm standing next to Jermaine, so wherever he moves, I'm,
No,
Gotcha.
we must form the diamond formation.
Whenever you folks are ready.
I think this is about as good as we're going to get it.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. It's actually less than a minute you folks are waiting when there's actually the sudden appearance from the top of the railing of Sevalod, who looks rather animated as he's glowering down at something just past you and barks out, "Kneel!" And much to the surprise of 3 of you, there was someone who's been following you this entire time. The obfuscate illusion is shattered as Kadir al-Asmai, the sheriff of New York City, is brought down to his knees, trembling with fear. Thankfully, none of you were affected by this command.
I told you, Mr. Alasmai. I'm not actually going to say that. I'm just going to remain quiet for now.
Sevalod begins slightly hovering down the staircase, his feet above the blood-red carpet, clawed hand trailing on that bone railing. The alien is letting out what could only best be described as a chuckle. And for his part, the sheriff is actually still on his knees. And as soon as Sevalod reaches the bottom of the staircase, Kadir has the misfortune of staring into the alien's soulless eyes. And you can all describe how your characters react to what transpires, because Kadir stops kneeling. He actually begins to curl up into a fetal position and begins sobbing and crying profusely, rocking himself rapidly back and forth there on the ground.
Byron's just going to say, well, ain't that a bitch? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
I was hoping this wouldn't happen.
Joseph's as silent and still as he can possibly be.
Jermaine's doing about the same.
For his part, Sevalod appears to be beaming. Now, when I said bring interesting people, I did not think the very sheriff of New York City would be the first on the list. For his part, the sheriff is continuing to remain in the fetal position.
Mark is just going to shake his head and be disgusted that their plan has already failed for the night.
Now, Jermaine, when I brought up the possibility that your employers would not listen to this deal, I truly did not expect that you would prove me wrong. Yet, once again, I am reminded of the resourcefulness and ingenuity of these modern-day Canaanites.
So Byron will say, so, it meets with your approval then.
Nice. I like what you just did right there. I like that.
Indeed, I truly did not think that you all would be up for such a bargain, but the rewards I have to offer all of you. While I still do require 12 others, I do believe this is a special one indeed.
Just out of character, I don't think anyone's going to say, no, we did not bring him here, right?
No. Yeah, no, we're going to tell him, you know, we didn't actually intend this. Maybe you should just kill us now.
Perhaps a good thing to stay in character, but Joseph is not moving, not breathing, not blinking.
Well, he's dead.
Exactly. He's not doing anything.
Byron is just beaming like he meant it all along. He's trying to play it off.
The very tall, gaunt alien creeps up really close, leans down, looks at Byron. A curious affectation. He sniffs a little, quirks his head.
Byron will take a half footstep back before he regains his composure, shall we say.
Now tell me why you're really here. He smiles.
Well, it was actually about this gentleman you have curled up on the floor right there. But it seems like that's been taken care of entirely.
Kadir, for his part, I won't describe this anymore. He's continuing to rock himself in a fetal position on the ornately decorated floor, crying and sobbing profusely.
Do you intend to take over the surface?
Sean, you have a lot of wind in your microphone.
It's very hard to understand you.
Sorry. Do you intend to take over the service? Or the surface?
The hairless brows lift in sort of confusion as the alien tilts its head to look at Joseph. No.
Then I think he's saying this to Byron, and he's not looking at him anymore. He's looking down at the ground, trying to speak to Byron and Marcus, making it clear without actually looking at them. I think that this very much solves all of our problems working with you.
Byron will nod. You're not looking at him, so you don't see it, but Byron will nod.
Marcus is just going to not react at all.
I see. Jermaine? How did... Oh, no. He actually stops himself, waves a very menacing-looking hand. Don't tell me that would spoil the surprise. I'll think about it. Regardless, I do believe this is above and beyond the little simple 13 mere kine. I do believe something is in order for this. Again, the alien is beaming, with a rather effusive smile. It almost seems as if every single pearly white tooth they're all fangs. But who gets the reward first? One of the claws goes up to the hairless chin on the rubbery skin, and he looks up to the ceiling while Kadir is sobbing, almost as if he's giving this some thought. Jermaine?
Yes.
Which of these 3 little canites helped you the most?
That would have to be Marcus or Byron for leading him here.
But that's 2. I need 1.
Then Byron, I suppose.
He creeps closer. Why?
Because I'm also under his contract. He was the one of this group to give me blood this month.
I see. Settled. Sevalod looks towards Joseph as well as Marcus. What you all have done has truly been quite a pleasure indeed, and I am very glad you have accepted me on this offer. What I am about to bestow on Byron, should he so choose to accept this magnanimous reward, is something that does not come lightly. My kind treasure their knowledge, and we must all strive to work for it. But I do make exceptions in the face of glorious reward. Pavel! The alien's voice booms. Very slowly, there is a groaning sound coming down from one of the hallways. Eventually, it is that same Slaja who escorted you all here, only he is carrying a pint of blood. He hands it to Sevalod. Sevalod, in turn, casually expects it. The Slaja steps back. Sevalod looks at Byron. Extends one of the menacing-looking hands as he's so very close to Byron. This is for you.
Byron is a little tongue-tied. I think he would have wet himself if he were not a vampire. So he will just accept it.
As soon as the hand is extended. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, he is handing it to Byron, correct?
Right. As soon as the hand is extended, as soon as you grab onto it, you make skin contact with the rubbery skin. And Sevalod actually reaches up an index finger from his other hand and taps it against Byron's forehead. And his mind is immediately assailed by a curious sort of knowledge that Byron never really considered he'd ever have in his brain at all. This actually ends up taking some time. None of you actually are sure how much, although you do check your cell phones. It's perhaps past 20 minutes by the time where you all... Kadir has been sobbing the entire time. Byron shakes out of the stun effect. Combine that with drinking some of the blood there, and that is the rudimentary of vicissitude having been taught to Byron. So he may now spend experience points in it, as if it were, of course, an out-of-clan discipline.
Assuming he drinks the blood, of course.
Assuming, of course, yes. During this time, Byron's mind is filled and perhaps even sort of warped with a varying degree of knowledge pertaining to the rudimentaries of bending not just the flesh of your own, but the flesh of others and the sinew of others, and melding and sculpting bone as if it were clay, mere tools to befit the eye of the beholder. The power to remake not just yourself, but others as well, in the visage that you truly require them to be. To not just dominate them as a Ventrue could, but to own them in all aspects. How does Byron feel?
Upon being released, Byron is actually going to fall to his knees and just say, "What the heck was that?"
That is the beginning. Jermaine knows. And soon, should you continue to be so successful. The beaming, fang-filled smile sweeps over to Joseph and Marcus. You will know as well.
I'll note that Byron is, I don't know if he's ever been this afraid in his life. He's scared shitless, especially now that he has that information in his head.
I don't think you understand how Marcus feels right now. Quite disappointed in everything and in himself.
But of course, I will not leave the rest of you to go so empty-handed. Dmitri has told me a bit of your troubles in the outside world, and for such a catch as a powerful vampire like this, I do believe exceptions can be made. Dmitri, would you be so kind, dear? There's actually a sort of wheeling effect, as Dmitri actually appears, and he is pushing a cart, which is a curious affectation. And on this cart are stacks of what appear to be modern-day United States currency. He eventually arrives. Pavel, the Sláinte, is very terrified, of course, as is Dmitri. Vsevolod stepped back a bit, peers curiously at the cart. Now, I don't know quite how currency works in this day and age. He picks up like one of these bundles and just rifles through it with a claw, sort of shrugging his alien head at it, like, paper, as if this were some sort of reliable form. Regardless, how much did you say there was, Dmitri? 10,000, master. The alien shrugs, looks back at you. Well, there you go. 10,000 of these dollars. I do believe they're applicable, and they might help you go some distance. The beaming has actually never faded, along with Kadir's sobbing. That is, of course, if it is useful to you at all.
Yeah, just to note, Byron is, does he still have the vial thing?
Yep.
I guess he took a sip out of it. Yeah.
No, you haven't drank it yet. Yeah, it's sort of like you're cradling it in your hands.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at it. I'm just staring at it, just in a happy place, I guess. I don't know. Byron is shut down right now. Still on his knees, just staring at the blood.
Yes, but if these are not useful, of course, then by all means it's no reason for you to accept. I just thought, it might be good. It was going to be the normal reward, but... He sort of looks down at the sobbing sheriff. You've one-upped me.
Marcus is actually going to look at the sheriff and mumble underneath his breath, I told you so. And then he's going to go back to being quiet and looking quite disappointed.
Not getting a response from anyone in the group, the alien begins to creep up to look at Marcus.
Marcus will turn to look at him.
Leans down a bit. Is there something wrong, K-Knight?
No, the money is good.
Joseph, I can handle this. No, Mr. Cerveni, there is nothing wrong right now. We thank you for your kind reward.
The effusive smile actually fades away, and the rubbery texture begins to draw back into a thin line. But of course, now, is there anything else.
Is he saying this to Marcus or to anyone in general?
Well, he's looking at Marcus still. But anyone could answer should they choose to. Anyone want to volunteer?
I'm going to stay silent.
The only thing we actually came here, well, this is out of character. The only thing we came here was actually to talk to him about Leslie Cutter because of the sheriff. But the sheriff is kind of no longer an issue here, so the original reason we came here is no longer actually applicable. So there's actually no more that Marcus needs to be said.
Assuming
Go ahead.
assuming no one's saying anything, Joseph will half step back as though turning to leave.
Okay. Joseph begins to leave.
So, has the sheriff put his shirt back on yet?
Oh yeah, he's definitely in his suit. He's in his normal
okay,
clothes. His
okay.
very expensive suit with his Swiss watch. He is down on the ground crying.
Out of character, I really want that watch as a trophy. In character, I couldn't care less.
Actually, I think Marcus, there's no way I could get this going. I want to figure out a way how Marcus could reach down and grab the watch off the sheriff as a sort of way of taking a trophy, I guess, and maybe use it later as a way of saying, yeah, the sheriff's gone.
Does Marcus actually want to try to take the watch?
I honestly don't think Marcus would even think about it. It's just something I was trying to figure out a way, so it's not, I'm not even going to try to do it.
The alien is still leaning down, very close to you, Marcus.
I believe there is nothing more we need here, Mr. Cerveni, unless you can think of something.
No. Just 12 more. That is all.
12 more interesting people?
Indeed. And the head nods down a bit towards Kadir. I do believe he counts as interesting. Wouldn't you say?
Marcus will take a look back at the sheriff. Perhaps not the most interesting of our kind, but yes, I would say he's interesting.
Good.
Wait, a Toreador sheriff you don't think is... Okay, no, go on.
A black Toreador sheriff? Why
He's
not?
not the single most interesting vampire that's ever lived, but he's interesting.
Could happen in Blazing Saddles.
I was just about to bring up that, I'm going to kill nigga, I'm going to kill nigga. Sorry. Anyway, I love that line. It's hilarious.
Since you're making a reference, we'll allow it, but...
Right.
The actual the actual words, it's from the movie. I'm just quoting.
But yeah, Sevalod just said just 12 more.
I believe either us or Jermaine will contact you when we have some.
Good. It is always better to have friends. You never know what troubles you'll run into. The dark, soulless eyes might almost be twinkling here.
And with that, I believe it is time for us to go. I believe you have much to discuss with the sheriff.
He nods. You guys will have to find a way to transport the money out, though.
Quickly shove it all into Jermaine's pockets. Marcus is wearing a jacket, so Marcus can, use his jacket as sort of a, tied up as a bag, I guess.
Sure, they're,
Go ahead.
they're crisp $100 bills. and tightly packaged, as if someone had brought them for the bank, or maybe someone just has stacks of various varying currencies just laying around.
Next thing you're gonna
So
tell
there's
me,
only, there's only, what, 100 bills there?
Yeah, you said 10,000. That's like 10
Yep.
stacks of 100.
There you go.
We can just pocket those.
Marcus will take care of that. Because Byron's over there too busy cradling a bottle of blood.
Yeah, he is not said or moved or done anything. He's
As
I'm
Joseph,
actually going to be helping Byron out.
as Joseph slowly creeps up on Byron.
Trying not to get anywhere near Sevalod while headed towards the cache.
Well,
Sevlod, for his part, is actually grabbed Kadir. Like, here, let me help you.
oh, I think, Mark, I don't know, I should have probably asked this. Marcus is just going to turn as a sort of parting gift, and he's just going to ask, how is Miss Cutter, anyway? How is Miss Cutter? He's not expecting
Sevlod,
much.
Sevlod stops. He turns back around, and he says, "She has been proven to be very interesting in a myriad of ways. Truly the greatest of all, at least for now, is that she brought you to me." And with that, he turns back around and walks up the staircase with Kadir.
I think this is the time where Marcus and everyone's going to try to, get the hell out of Dodge. Come, Patsy.
Yeah, I'm actually going to help Byron out of there.
as soon as if anyone touches him, he'll snap out of it. If I guess Sevlod left already, but Byron is going to look chagrined that he didn't thank him or anything, but he can be let out. Let me put it that way.
I'll lead him on out.
The money, though, as I was proven, if it's all $100 bills, it's only 10,000. Only 10,000. Yeah, it's not hard to keep out of there. The Zlacha ends up following all of you slowly and inexorably, though.
I'll keep a brisk pace.
Okay. And you all manage to end up retracing your steps, and eventually you end up, all of you, finding yourselves back outside. Standing in the near darkness except for Byron's flashlight in Central Park.
This was not how I anticipated the evening ending.
Nor I.
I knew he was there the whole time, though.
You did.
Yes, I did. He's not as good at hiding as, say, Joseph is. And I did not want to give him away.
Well, I guess that opened up the dialogue.
Now the question is, there's a power vacuum that we need to fill.
Yes, we do.
I'm recommending either Valentine or Mr. Carter Vanderwayne.
You'll have to throw in with someone.
I know Valentine the best, only during my time in dealing with him. Mr. Vanderwayne is we do not know very well. The one of us who did was David, and you already know what is wrong with him.
Yes, I do.
There was a woman that was with the former sheriff when me and Byron went there last night. Did we know her name in character, or did we just assume?
So, you two will have some, actually just you, not so much Byron, but since you're familiar with the New York City area, and since you did fight in the Battle of New York, Her name is Catherine Weiss. Her domain covers all of Brooklyn Heights as well as downtown Brooklyn. She's a moderate voice among the damned and very active in kindred politics, despite having arrived in New York City only 2 years ago. She's apparently, according to word on the street and everything, she's a member in exile of the Ivory Tower who arrived to help the cause and reclaim her lost status, and she has done just that. Very little is really known about her, but common knowledge is that she is a quite capable vampire.
There's one. We met a woman. Her name was Catherine Weiss. I believe none of you else know of her.
And,
She is a quite capable vampire. She is another option.
I just realized why everyone's ignoring me for so long.
you had your
You weren't
microphone
pressing
muted?
your...
Or you weren't pushing the protest key?
No, I hit my mute key.
Oh, wow. You thought we were just, like, straight up ignoring you?
Yeah, I thought everyone was just ignoring me. That said, Joseph wants to say, a long while ago, we really should figure out everyone we're going to deal with before we start making moves.
A lot of people stand to gain with the sheriff falling down. Though we need to act quickly to put someone back in power. We need to act quickly so someone can take power. Otherwise, the city just...
You're the only ones who know.
Right.
Others
Byron-
might not know for weeks, depending on his practices. You have time to act before anyone else does.
The question is, who ends up in power? And I think that's a question that we should be deciding the answer to.
We don't have much time.
Yeah, Byron will snap out of it here and he'll say, agreed. We have a window, let's just say maybe up to a week before the sheriff will be missed by many people. In that, we do need to find someone, but it does not have to be immediate.
Guys, I've got the perfect idea. We put Jezebel the Gangrel as the prince.
Could be worse.
Could be Sabat.
Could be Malkavian.
Hey!
To be fair, I would actually, out of character, I think I would have preferred Mr. Vanderwayne to anyone else being the prince.
Yeah, no, actually I would as well, out of character. And of course that's David's pick, but he's not exactly relevant right now.
I mean, David's going to be really pissed off at us for, turning in the sheriff, but well, yeah,
Oh, furious.
We're going to have an excuse.
Yeah, Byron would actually like to know more about like Helene Penhard and the other people vying for the princedom. But
Okay, well, that actually brings me to the next point I was going to make in character. You should spend, or we should spend, the next few days at least finding out as much as we can about all of the prospective people before making a decision.
agreed.
Oh, there's also the High Regent of the Tremere.
There's a great many people.
That would put you at odds with your new patron.
Maybe the Warlocks are what we need right now. I'm just saying the option remains. My choice right now is Mr. Valentine.
Obviously, I don't have any say in this, but I still...
There's also the other options. Our good friends, the Anarchs, over in Staten Island.
If you tipped them off, they might be able to perform a coup before anyone knew it happened.
Unite with the Anarchs?
There are all kinds of possibilities here, and none of them bear acting on rashly.
Joseph's going to turn and look straight at Byron.
Byron is going to raise an eyebrow and meet his gaze. Say yes.
Why not one of us?
Say again.
Why not one of us?
Byron will think about it.
That's what the Ventrue's supposed to do, isn't it? Lead?
The Ventrue in general, or the Ventrue meeting Byron?
Generic statement.
Right. Byron will nod, but he'll say, I don't know that any of the three of us have enough pull to hold this city together at all.
If you could secure a formal alliance with the Autarch, I could do it.
Oh, that is a very, very big card.
The problem with that is though, this Asa meets the Autarch would turn a lot of people who follow the Ivory Tower away from anything.
It's true. It might really build the Anarch cause.
The thing is, if we have some dealings with the Autarch, I don't think he wants to come up here. I don't think he wants to be known. I don't think he wants to deal with this.
He would be a private partner.
Right, which means that as far as alliance, I think we have the closest thing that we could ever call an alliance to him already.
This bears thinking about regardless. We should do research on the current potential candidates before we decide anything like that.
And Byron will say, perhaps it would be wisest if we weren't the people in the front for anything that happens.
True, but being the fill in the back means that we're always doing this dance. If we have a chance to step out in the front and hold it, we live for a very long time, you know.
Just don't take it off the table yet.
Right.
Also, don't go for it.
But Byron will go into more detail. It's like, well, I'm not saying that we don't make a play for it. I just say that the actual coup or whatever itself is done by other people, because we've got Sevalod in our back pocket regardless. We can play that card whenever we want. Why not play it when people are all weak?
It's true. It might be more profitable to you in the long term to put someone else's prince and take other high positions for yourself.
Guys. We forgot option C. You go to Jersey City and get the Sabbat back.
Jermaine will first laugh, then glare, then laugh again.
Well, we can go to Jersey and get a giant robot car.
What?
What? You're throwing
I laughed my ass off at that.
But that's more of our character. I mean, Marcus may have mentioned, well, you know, there's a Sabbat. It's more derisively. I mean, there's that.
There isn't a big enough contract for me to work with the Sabbat.
Here's one option. Ally straight up with the Anarchs. That gives us a power base to work out of. The Anarchs don't have enough to control the entire thing, and if we're the uniting force between that...
It just seems like Boss Callahan wouldn't ally with us for power. He wants to take it for himself. For the one meeting I've met with him.
Split the entirety of all the barrows into separate domains with separate barons?
I think it would just be easier if we found a coalition of people to support behind one Camarilla Prince. The Anarchs are a great idea and all, but chances are if they try to come in here, they'll be fighting, and if there's fighting, then the city's left weak to the Sabbat.
Whatever's going to happen, there's going to be fighting. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, the last vestige of any sort of government has pretty much left this place, unless you count Theo Bell or any scourges running around.
There's the Harpies still running around, but the Harpies they're a Harpy.
They're powerful voices, but they're more lobbyists than anything.
I mean, one of them could take power because there's not very much left.
Really? No reaction from Byron?
On what? About talking about the harpies?
Yeah, I was hoping for something.
Oh, no, he disagrees. He just kind of smirks a little bit because for him, they're just like cheerleaders, or whatever. He's just, yeah.
That said, can we go discuss this somewhere privater?
I mean, we're in Jermaine's car.
You're in Central Park.
Yeah, we're just standing outside the door.
You just walked outside the damn shack and been talking about all of this in the near dark, except for Byron's flashlight.
Yeah, we should head back to the church.
We seem like one of those like goth kid LARP groups.
Yep.
Okay, let's just go back to like O'Malley Real Estate. That place is safe, right? Right, guys?
You mean the new O'Malley Real Estate?
Sure.
Yeah, who knows what condition it's in, but that one, the new one should be decent.
I mean, they just started moving stuff into it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it might be empty of most stuff, or maybe.
So yeah, that should be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a roof, so we can go there.
Okay. So are you all going?
I believe we're all piling into Jermaine's car and going back to O'Malley Real Estate, the new one.
The new O'Malley Real Estate.
Oh, the one that used to be your hideaway. Got it. The trip is uneventful, although Marcus's phone does ring.
I will answer it.
As it turns out, you're greeted by, once again, there's the faint, just off in the distance there, the thing Marcus can hear, so screaming, and sort of like a mixture of sobbing and begging. Along with, hello, Marcus.
Hello.
I was calling to see, the number's actually still there. I didn't know whether you had done anything with it.
My evening has been rather busy, Theo. I'll look into it as soon as I can.
Oh, no, there's really no rush about anything. Of course, the priority is finding Leslie Cutter. Have you actually made any more success on that front?
I don't know how to say this actually in character.
Oh, you say it like this. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say
But
no.
I'll tell you more later.
Don't help him. Let him resolve this on his own.
That's fair.
Well, we both said different things, so it's up to him anyway.
We said dramatically different things.
There's been some developments on that front, but I'll keep you posted.
I would actually like to know.
Well.
Hold on. Screaming stops. Go on.
We've located her, but she is now in the possession of a rather powerful vampire. Much to our... We can't really...
Who?
I don't know if you would know of this person, but... Does the name Vsevolod Cerveni mean anything to you?
There's a long pause, followed by something so loud you other people can hear it emanating from the phone. I won't yell it as loud as he is, but the words are, son of a bitch.
That's my reaction. That was my reaction as well. We were in the process earlier tonight of trying to get her back, but complications arose.
There is a long sigh. And, some shuffling. You don't exactly know what's happening on the other one, but, Theo's, definitely there, and he takes a deep breath. Oh, how did that motherfucking fiend find her?
We were if you must know. I would rather tell you this in person, but if you must know now, I can
Damn
tell you.
it.
The
I'm not-
phone I gave you along with mine, no one's eavesdropping.
We were blackmailed by Mr. Cerveni due to some breaches in the Masquerade performed by some of us into locating her. This happened some time ago. He gave us an artifact to locate her because she had, according to him, has a power to that.
Yes, Viscerotica, the same damn thing that those fucking warlock gargoyles possess.
Yes, and he gave us an artifact to locate her. Miraculously, in the same night of getting this artifact, we found her, and we were in the process of convincing her to go to the Camarilla. When
Joseph is now waving his hands at your face, like.
Yeah, are you sitting in the front seat or the back? Byron's sitting in the back. If you're next to him, he is going to grab the phone and turn it off.
I'm in the front seat.
Jermaine's going to be glaring at you, but that's about it.
I tried lying to the sheriff last time. It didn't work out, and if I'm going to lie to someone over the phone, especially someone I hold in high regard.
No, I totally understand it. But in character, I'm glaring my ass off at you.
You can continue to glare at once, but either way, Marcus is going to continue. He's basically going to say we were attacked by the Sabbat, and afterwards, I had to go feed because I was quite empty of blood and became indisposed for the rest of the evening. Something happened, and I'm not sure how. That is a lie. But she somehow made it to Vsevolod Cerveni's domain.
Go ahead and make a manipulation plus subterfuge. This will be resisted, but at difficulty 4. You have a lot of credibility with Theo Bell.
Spend willpower.
Yes, and be down to 0.
Wait, what?
Are you actually going to completely bankrupt yourself of any willpower?
I know bankrupting yourself of willpower basically makes you lethargic for the rest of the 6th game.
Wait, this is difficulty 4, dude. I mean,
I'm not gonna... willpower. I'm not spending willpower.
It's like...
See,
there you go. 2 successes. There's a long sigh. You guys hear it again from the phone. Son of a bitch! And then follow this a tirade of profanity. He stops. Well, I suppose I'll have to tell Kadir. There's no way in hell we're gonna get her. Not from him.
God damn it! Now how do I break the news of Kadir?
You don't.
Okay.
You know,
Marcus is just going to remain quiet.
You know, if there is going to be a prince, I would strongly support, of course. Each person should choose their own, but he's very strict. I also have my phone here. Suppose we'll leave that on the cliffhanger for the time being. Take like a 2-minute break.
Just FYI, it's just staying in character, only sharing in-character information at the moment. Joseph is waving his hands in your face, making motions to a throat, like, no, 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 no.
Marcus's face finds out that Theo Bell's pick for Prince was the sheriff.
There was nothing I could do to stop the sheriff from following us, unless I revealed to him, which would just,
No.
All right.
I totally get it. I'm just saying, his face went.
What you could say is you could actually tell Theo that Byron and Marcus went and talked to him. He already knew. You don't have to say what happened to him, but let Theo put it together that maybe the sheriff tried to take matters into his own hands somehow.